Writer through Friday, 10:20 p.m. EL. James 50 Shades Freed continues to keep it up today, heading toward a $40 million plus opening weekend climax, still only 14% off from the opening of 50 Shades Darker last year, $46.6 million, which is a solid ease for a threequel. Threequels are notorious for being the lowest out of a franchise's bunch at the box office, with the exception of most superhero movies. Even more hope for Freed's longevity. The James title ties up its second B cinema score tonight after 50 Shades Darker a year ago proved that the fans are attending versus when 50 Shades of Grey was slapped with AC. Uni insiders blamed non-fans then for sinking that pic's grade. Sony Animation, and in second we have Sony Animation's Peter Rabbit with $21.8 million, which gets an A cinema score tonight, which is the same grade that Illumination Universal Top earned. That was a similar Rabbit project, sans the Beatrix Potter source material built around a British comedian. That Easter Bunny film opened to $37.5 million 7 years ago and bounced to $108 million domestic, $183.9 million worldwide. Given the lack of family fare for quite some time, it will be interesting to see if Peter Rabbit posts a higher multiple. Even though this weekend in terms of ticket sales will likely pale when compared to a year ago's $188.6 million, which was built on Lego Batman $53 million, 50 Shades Darker, and John Wick Chapter 2 $30.4 million. Next weekend is bound to thrust 2018 ahead of 2017, with Black Panther's projected $130 million, $160 million. The takeaway being that movie-going remains very healthy, and as one film financier pointed out, you have two films that weren't that well received by critics which are leading the box office and bound to be profitable. 50 Shades Freed is unwatchable. Not every film is built for critics, nor should a film's box office fate be determined by them, and 50 Shades Freed and Peter Rabbit provide hope that some films can still be built to simply serve the entertaining needs of their audiences. While Universal went to great lengths to induct the unfaithful, those who never read E.L. James trilogy on the first 50 Shades of Grey, they've relied on the brand's fan base, which they stoked socially, and a killer soundtrack recipe which works like it's the 1980s all over again. While music was always an essential part of movie marketing back then, every now and then that extra ancillary kicks in, propping a film. Such was the case with the Twilight movies, and that's definitely been the case with the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy. Social media monitor RelishMix expounds, Universal took a page out of its playbook for Fate of the Furious and Sing by consistently sharing music videos, which obviously included quick looks from Freed, throughout the campaign. Featuring a partnership with Vevo and some of today's hottest musical artists like Rita Ora, Liam Payne, Sia, Beyoncé and Justin Bieber, Freed has been dropping music videos now and again over the past 2 months leading up to open, in fact, the second most viewed clip of the campaign behind the films. Official trailer is Liam Payne and Rita Ora's For You music video, which has logged over 32 million views. Recently the soundtrack was made available to over the internet, with other big Freed music videos being Hailee Steinfeld and Blood Pops, capital letters, at close to 6 million over the last week, and Julia Michaels, Heaven, nearing 2 million. In addition, these artists further drive awareness for the pick on social. Reed Payne has 57 million plus social media followers, while Ora, who appears in the movie, counts over 27 million. For a threequel, RelishMix is also praising Freed's $500 social media universe reach across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, even though it's behind the previous chapters of 50 Shades of Grey 890 million and 50 Shades Darker 945 million. Universal kicked off the campaign in September with an announcement teaser, generating more than 100 million views. 2 months later, the official trailer drew 200 million views plus. Taking a page from Warner Bros. New Lines at Haunted House in Hollywood, Uni staged the Pop Experience FIFTY, which featured 6 artfully designed rooms including Christian Grey's famed Red Room of sex toys. Another opportunity for fans to share the love on social media. In addition, the New York flagship store of Saks Fifth Avenue has dressed its windows with the costumes and inspirations from Freed. Heading into the weekend, RelishMix noticed that the conversation was split down the middle, though mostly positive for Freed. One point of conversation among fans is, of course, Anastasia's pregnancy, which is teased at the end of the trailer. The divide between fans of the characters appears to be a debate about the accuracy of The film adaptation from the books. Fans are also tagging female friends to make this movie a girls' night out, or boyfriends to make it a date night. Such discussions far outweigh any other sentiment, says Relish Mix. Warner Brothers. It is very hard to emulate the American Sniper effect at the box office, even if it's Clint Eastwood making another go-round with an American hero's tale, in this case the 1517 to Paris, which is now looking at $12.9 million in third. Many have tried 12 Strong, 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, but nothing pops. And if you even dote on PTSD, read Thank You for Your Service, or Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. That's just a downer at the BO. While 1517 is obvious play to the flyover states, that crowd isn't impressed with AB's cinema score next to the as they've bestowed on 12 Strong and 13 Hours, so that's not good for business. Warner's marketed the film as a thriller, which is a means to get folks in the door, but once you're in, it's a slow origins drama about the real guys who play their older selves in the movie, and that's a challenge. Rival executives point out the title being a problem as a selling point. What does it exactly mean? In addition to the fact that arguably, not many are in the know about the 2015 Talus train attack and the 3 American heroes who foiled it. On the upside, Eastwood is always dependable about keeping his titles at a thrifty cost, and this one carries a reported production cost of $30 million. But Sully, this is not from both a popular or commercial standpoint. Oscar bloggers and pundits were always wondering if this title would get showcased in the heat of this year's Oscar season. However, Warner Brothers was the wiser. As for the holiday holdover greats, Sony's other family picture Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle looked like $2.2 million today for a 3-day of $9.6 million in weekend 8, down 12%, with a running total of $365.4 million. This momentum smells like it's set to topple Sony's Spider-Man 2 $373.5 million to become the studio's second highest grossing title stateside after Sam Raimi's original Spider-Man $403.7 million. 20th Century Fox and 20th Century Fox's underdog musical The Greatest Showman looked like $1.6 million today for a 3-day of $6.1 million, 19%, for a running total in weekend 8 of $146.2 million. The pick will soon overtake Les Miserables $148.8 million, and is less than $5 million from overtaking Benj Pasek and Justin Paul's previous Oscar-winning song scripted musical La La Land $151.1 million. Fox Searchlight's 13 Oscar nominee leader In the Shape of Water is nearing $50 million. Chart coming. Previously, Friday, 7:02 a.m. Universal's feature adaptation of 50 Shades Freed, the last chapter in E.L. James' BDSM trilogy, minted $5.6 million last night at 3,150 theaters. That's a great start considering it's only 2% behind last year's $5.72 million preview cash for 50 Shades Darker. Pre-weekend opening estimates are ranging from $33 million all the way up to $39 million on 50 Shades Freed, but don't be surprised if it creeps up into the $40 million range. 50 Shades Darker opened to $46.6 million last February. In total this weekend, the global ticket sales for 50 Shades Freed will push the trilogy past the $1 billion mark. Last year, 50 Shades Darker's previews beginning at 7 p.m. played at 3,120 venues, making it the 6th best R-rated Thursday night preview of all time. 3 years ago, 50 Shades of Grey opened to $8.6 million at 2,830 theaters on its first Thursday night, and currently ranks as the 3rd best R-rated Thursday night preview behind Deadpool $12.7 million and The Hangover 2 $10.4 million. 50 Shades Freed is leading ticket sales for those picks in play this weekend on Fandango. A recent poll with 1,000 moviegoers showed that 59% plan to see the threequel as part of their Valentine's Day plans, while 82% saw the first 2 titles on the big screen. A year ago, 50 Shades Darker got a pop on the Lover's Holiday, grossing $11 million and leading all titles that day. Previews weren't held last night for Warner Bros. Village Roadshow's American hero Clint Eastwood drama The 1517 to Paris and Sony Animation's Peter Rabbit. They are expected to draw around $10 million, $12 million and $20 mish, respectively, for the weekend. Critics haven't been wowed by any of this weekend's wide entries, with 50 Shades Freed earning a traditional slam of 13% Rotten, 1517 getting a 21% Rotten Tomatoes score, and Peter Rabbit an okay 60% fresh. Given the impact that Rotten Tomatoes usually has on a pick's box office results, that really isn't anything that 50 Shades Freed and Peter Rabbit have to worry about. Both are largely Teflon against reviews. 50 Shades Freed in its erotic soap opera is a destination for its female book fans, and Peter Rabbit is a premium family title, and there arguably isn't another one of those the marketplace until Disney's March 9 release, A Wrinkle in Time.